to those young lads now? How do you pick them up? What do you say to them?
Support them, particularly the lads who missed the penalties, because they're going to be top-class players. But there will be lessons to learn for the players tonight, in that game particularly. And we've suffered at different degrees, and games have felt really tough sometimes. And you realise this level, what it does to you, because the possession stat that you talk about, Gary, I think it's so important at this level. It's time to rest on the ball. It's time to get some footing into the game and have it. And Italy got that tonight. And we, after the first 20 minutes, we never really did enough.
Is that where sometimes it can possibly break down a little bit, the fact that you've only actually got 3 forward-thinking players on the pitch? Because when they started, obviously, a back 3, 2 wing-backs, 2 holding players. In terms of trying to win the ball, trying to create, try and make things happen, do you need more forward-thinking players on the pitch, particularly with the quality that they have?
I think Gareth's game plan all tournament has been to make sure they get to the latter stages of the game. If they're ahead, great. But if they're in and around 0-0, 1-1, whatever it is, our substitutes, our squad.
But he's been reluctant to make substitutes, Rio. Look at the semi-final, he didn't really do it until extra time. Likewise, he didn't make too many until very late in the game.
And I agree, and that goes back to where people's thoughts were probably before the tournament, that maybe sometimes he can be conservative. He maybe fell into that. I thought that we could have been more positive in this game. That's one criticism I would say, and level at him in this game maybe. There were times
is that perhaps a danger of the fact sometimes you get ahead early in a game and all of a sudden you've got something to cling on?
Yeah, but
forces you subconsciously deeper.
I understand that, but
you look at 2 shots on target the whole game.
I get that, but you look at Mancini. First half, we were a team, probably we looked more comfortable, more composed. They go in at half-time, he adjusts things. They come out, they dominate the game, dominate possession completely. That's because game management, from a coaching perspective, he's seen something, changed it.
Is it easier to change something that you've seen when you're perhaps behind in a game than perhaps when you're winning?
Maybe, yeah. But you've got to be good on both sides of the game. When you're winning, you've got to be able to see out a game. But also when you're losing, you've got to be able to adjust it, to actually fix things, to actually get a positive result. It's the way it is.
I think there's also a lot of responsibility on players here, and we're asking a lot. But I thought there were some great performances. Harry Maguire, I thought, was outstanding. But
really was.
You could
Phillips in midfield as well.
Phillips was brilliant. I mean, when you think his journey, where he's come from, Declan Rice until he came off, but when games turn, and maybe we do talk about us being relatively young in a sense. Maybe you felt the experience of a Bonucci, a Chiellini. They've been here before, they understand. So I thought they were really comfortable and confident on the ball, even when they were losing the game. They kept passing, kept moving. Again, I think they're the tough lessons to be learned.
Lessons to be learned. Let's hear from England's captain, Harry Kane.
Harry, it's always tough to lose, but to lose in the manner that you did, does that make it even tougher?
Yeah, 100%. I couldn't give more. The boys couldn't give more. Penalties, obviously, the worst feeling in the world when you lose, and it wasn't our night. It's been a fantastic tournament. We should be proud, hold our heads up high. But of course, it's going to hurt now. It's going to hurt for a while, but look, we're on the right track, and we're building, and hopefully we can progress from this next year.
You said it wasn't your night tonight. What do you feel went wrong? I know it's hard to analyse this early.
Yeah, I mean, we're playing against a very good side. Obviously, we got off to the perfect start. Maybe dropped a little bit too deep. Sometimes when you score that early, it's easy to try and soak up the pressure and try and hold on to that. And that's probably what happened. They had a lot of the ball, they had a lot of possession, but to be fair, we looked fairly in control. They didn't create too many chances. And then obviously they got their breakthrough from the set piece, and then after that it was probably a 50-50. In extra time we grew into the game, had a few half chances, and then obviously penalties is penalties. We went through our process. The boys done everything they could. It just wasn't our night.
We saw you all go over to Marcus Jayden and particularly to Bukayo at the end. What was the message to them, and the way you crowded around them, does that tell us a lot about this group?
Yeah, you just got to hold your heads up high, Fantastic tournament. And look, these things can happen. Penalty shootout, you go through your process, you put it where you want to put it, but anyone can miss a penalty. So we win together, we lose together. So we'll learn, we'll grow from it. Them boys will grow from it. And it'll give us even more motivation to do well in the World Cup next year.
I know it is raw at the moment, but when the dust has settled, will you be able to focus on all of the positives, the fact you have gone one step better than Russia?
Yeah, we should be extremely proud as a group of what we've achieved. Like I said before, we're all winners, so we want to win, and it's going to hurt for a while. And it'll probably hurt for the rest of our careers, but that's football. So, like I said, we progressed well from Russia, and now it's about continuing that. We've got a great squad. loads of young players hungry for more football like this. So that's all we can do is build and learn. And like I said, hopefully go into next year in a better way.
Thanks for your time, Harry. Commiserations.
Thank you.
With a warning, this is England. But Alan, is this a different England?
They've been absolutely fantastic from the very first kick of the game, Gary. They put their stamp on the game. They pressed, they harassed, they closed them down. They offered width, which caused Italy all sorts of problems, which is where the goal from, what a goal it was, is incredible. Two guys in midfield have not given them any space at all. When we have had to defend, they've defended so well indeed. Shaw down one side, Trippier down the other side, causing all sorts of problems with the width. So all very, very positive up to now.
How impressed have you been with Gav's game plan so far, Frank?
Yeah, the game plan, I think, particularly the first 15 minutes of the match, we talked about width, we talked about switches of play. Italy found themselves with a huge problem. They couldn't get to Kyle Walker. He was linking up with Trippier on the side. Their wingers and midfielders were getting caught in between people. We dominated the game for 15 minutes. I think, to be fair to Italy, they've come back into the game, made us show the other side of our game, which is Rice and Phillips, which is Maguire and Stones in the organisation in a deep area. I just feel like we will at some stage now need to get a little bit more possession and dominance back to clearly see the game through.
And for those watching at home that don't watch that much football, and of course there would be many of you because of the nature of this occasion, football's never simple where you just dominate for 90 minutes. Is it, Rio?
No, but at the same time, listen, I think we've looked very composed defending when we haven't had the ball. Yes, we've come low block on the edge of the box, but there's a difference between going there and hanging on and being there and being composed and actually sure of what you're doing. They look very well drilled, very well coached and confident in that area. And obviously we caused them a lot of problems, especially in the early stages. But like Frank said, switching from one side to the other side of the pitch, brilliant, and Kane was integral to all of that.
Luke Shaw's second-minute goal was actually the fastest ever scored at a European Championship final. And it's also the quickest by an Englishman by 17 seconds in any match at the Euros. And you're the other one?
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Opener versus Germany in 1996.
Oh, well, there you go. I'm absolutely. And by the way, what a goal it was tonight. Oh, what a goal it was tonight. The way Luke Shaw started the move deep into his own half, showed great composure, didn't want to hoof that up the park, wanted to play out. Harry Kane coming deep as we thought and wanted him to do the switch of play, the running off the ball from Kyle Walker. That's the third centre half, by the way, in the first 2 minutes of the game. What a ball in, and an incredible finish on the half volley to get the accuracy as he did. Stunning, absolutely stunning, from the moment Luke Shaw got that ball in his own half to the way he finished it off. Magnificent.
That's wing back to wing back, by the way. Yeah. Trippier crossing to Shaw. That justifies not just only the team selection, but the change in formation to the wing backs. That's what allows the two fullbacks or wing backs to get up the pitch like they did. And that's what we said before. If you're five at the back, it can be a problem.
Yeah, that's the key, isn't it? If you're going to play that system, if your wing backs have got to be brave and got to go high, Frank.
Yeah, you know you're doing something right in an attacking sense of the formation when it's wing back to wing back and one's crossing for the other one to score. But it was the template for the start of the game. Harry Kane dropping off, switching the play, extending the Italian midfield. Jermaine mentioned it in the commentary. A midfield player does not like to have to be extended from side to side. They just couldn't handle it.
Yeah. Fancy seeing a few celebrations around the country? They're always fun. Here we go. That's Manchester. There you go. Whee! Beer throwing has become a thing, hasn't it?
I'll tell you what, I'd love to be in there, wouldn't you?
Next one's Croydon. South London. Yes! Oh, bit of steam. They'll all be steaming later, that's for sure, if it carries on like this. Trafalgar Square, I'm sure you recognise that.
In there.
You've been in that water.
I'll be in there.
You'll be there later. And this is Leicester. We haven't seen scenes like that for at least, 2 months? Coventry.
Luke Shaw!
Yeah, Luke Shaw. Yes, it was. I'm not sure he should wear a rain mac. Come on. And this is Wembley. Oh, God, this is us. Oh, it gets to us all, doesn't it? It really does get to us all. Yes. Look at that. Oh. I think we kept social distancing. I'm not sure. I don't think we will if they carry on and stay. I just want a quick word on Luke Shaw, actually, because what a tournament he's had.
phenomenal tournament. And listen, you've got to remember where he's come from. We talked about resilience before with Raheem Sterling. This kid's shown immense resilience. He was kind of put out of the squad, hung out to dry. Jose Mourinho didn't fancy him, obviously. Publicly kind of...
ridiculed him almost.
Yep, and he's just come back from that. And that shows character. That shows somebody that actually... He works on himself, not only physically, but mentally as well. And he's come back here, and what a dream start to the game. Listen, if he finishes this game as the player that scores the winning goal, imagine that. From where he's come from in terms of being someone who was out of the team.
That awful injury he had and all that sort of stuff. England's early press, it was important, wasn't it?
It's really important, but we spoke about it before the game. It's been something we've been great at doing, and we're keeping in tight areas. Look at the amount of players we have in a tight area. The Italians want to try and play. One of their strengths is using Jorginho, using Verratti. They can't play short there. It's just impossible. Our shape's too good. Our intention to press is too good. The idea we make contact, there you go. Have some of that early on.
Phillips has been everywhere, hasn't he?
Yeah, Phillips has been brilliant. He's been doing that for a long time for Leeds and now for England. But there you go. Show me some contact, yes. Contact. You cannot have too many touches on the ball because we will get after you and we'll win it back. We'll close distances. We've got energy. And that was the first part of the game. Brilliant for us.
Really impressive. Straight on the front foot, Alan.
Just didn't let them settle at all, as if to say, if you're going to beat us tonight, you're going to have to be at it, because they were right on top of them from the beginning.
Yeah, they've got the shape spot on. They've clearly taken Gareth's instructions, and he's made them very clear. They know what they're doing.
Yes, they do. And I think this is what I spoke about earlier, is that being deep and being able to control these situations, the gaps between the players, the defensive players and the midfielders aren't huge. But then when the ball does go beyond one of the midfielders, one of the centre-backs, when you've got three, can come out and engage one of the strikers in that position. And I think, listen, you look at this Italian team, if I'm one of the defenders in there, I'm not worried about penetration behind me, because Immobile wants to come to feet. He's not quick enough to get away from you, and you can get that, and then it's about getting it and pouncing. I think Declan Rice has been the best in the first half in terms of when we won the ball, the transition out of that and taking us off the pitch. It's been fantastic. The two midfielders have been integral to us being in a position like this and being happy as well.
I don't think they can't really give us a problem centrally in the box. Immobile, I'm not sure whether he's trying to run behind or come short. If they're going to go wide and cross it, we'll probably say thank you very much, because of our centre-backs in the box. So play in front of us, go to the side, not really a problem. Italy want to combine in the box, and we're just not let them do that.